particularly in the wake of 9/11 and the wars, there were a fair number of instances where the government was making claims of national security and asking us to stop reporting or change our reporting. And I took every one of those seriously. I mean, I think I owed it to the audience, to the country, to take them seriously. This is where I came down in the end. I had some simple rules of the road for me. If we have something we think may have serious national security, we must check with the responsible government agency, both to find out if it's true and to give them an opportunity to make a claim if they want to make a claim. If someone makes a claim, then I learned pretty quickly, I need the head of the agency. I'm talking about the head of the CIA. I'm talking about the Attorney General. The head has to call me personally, because it rapidly became clear that you can have people down the line, particularly in the public communications area, who it's almost free for them to ask for a story to be curtailed, you know, without regard to whether it's a real national security. And if they get it killed or changed, then they're a hero, right? But they're not really in a position. So I said, look, if it's serious enough to ask us to change our reporting, then the person has to call me. And I had some of those calls. And the third thing was, every one of the calls, I would say, okay, I need to understand exactly what the national security issue is here. You know, explain to me exactly how the national security would be harmed. I had one of these officials once say, well, it'll be an embarrassment for the U.S. government with the local government. I said, well, you know, a lot of what we report is embarrassing for the U.S. government, and that's way too broad. I mean, if that's the national security concern, you have to show me. But on the other hand, we had an instance where Martha Raddatz, our Pentagon correspondent, early in the Afghan war, it would have been the fall of 2001, had information about a special forces operation behind enemy lines that was still ongoing. And we checked, and it was absolutely true, it was ongoing. And they said, please don't report that for the next 3 or 4 hours because we want to get our guys back out. Now, you know, as a practical matter, was it likely the Taliban was watching ABC News and would hear it? No. But was there some chance in the age of the internet? Some chance. So I said, absolutely, we can hold that for 3 hours, no problem. But the last thing was, besides asking for specificity about exactly how national security would or could be harmed, the last thing was, and I had this debate once with a head of the CIA, it's my call to make, it's not yours. It's on my shoulders. The government doesn't get to decide that. And he was very upset. He said, why do you get to decide that? And I said, well, you don't have an argument with me, you have an argument with the Supreme Court. You know, go to the Supreme Court. But ultimately it has to be on the journalist's side to make a responsible decision.